Hello, I'm Ginny, and you know me as Mum Shed on my Facebook page, and because so many people have asked for a tutorial on the Snowflake clay Christmas mould, I'm going to show you a quick video on how I do it, and I'll try and answer as many questions I can remember whilst doing it for do's and don'ts and how I do it. And I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who has commented and liked my stuff on my page. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. For the Snowflake, I always prefer using Das clay. It's my preferred go-to clay. I've tried a few and this is the one I like the most. You do need quite a bit of clay to do the Snowflake, so you want to take out the packet and then you need to roll it out. It's quite a big, it's 8-inch cutter that I'm using, so you do need to roll it out quite big. Not too thin, but not too thick either, as this takes ages to dry. So roll in, and then you can use this as a guide. So I've got enough there. I'm just going to roll it out a little bit more because it's quite thick. Some people put markers on the side so they have the thingy, but I'm not that fussy. Just think it makes it a bit more rustic if it's not all the same. So I've rolled it out to roughly, I don't know how big that is, but not too thick, not too thin. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just gently do a little mark up of where my snowflake's going to cut it, just so that I can not waste too much glue when I put my glue on. Now for my glue, for my napkins, I use Mod Podge, also another preferred glue for putting decoupage on. Now you don't want to put this on too thick, but you want it on enough all the way around. Try to make it as smooth as possible. And try and make sure there's no little bits in there, like I've got bits in there. Take the bits out. So once you've put your Right, I jumped the gun a little bit there because I didn't prepare my napkin. Now most napkins come with 3 plies of paper attached, and all I do, there are different methods to do this, but this is how I do it. I just run my nail on the corner gently until you can see the layers, and I've been lucky enough to get both off at once, and then peel it off, so you're just left with one layer. Now you lay it over and gently rub down. And I've forgotten my plastic bag, so I'm going to, if that happens, just gently pull it up because you've not adhered it down properly yet. Ordinarily I'll probably use a freezer bag, but so then just, you're not going to catch it and rip it by putting something over the top just to put it down. Take it off, have a look, see if it's smooth. And then you should be able to see little marks on there. There's some wrinkles in there. And I mean, some people like it really smooth. Again, I'm not that bothered. Just get as many out as you can. It does stretch out when it dries. And there we go. And you've got to cut it yet anyway, so there's going to be bits missing. Now, you can gently see So now I'm going to place the marker where I've done my little indentations. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then with a firm, I'm going to stand up for this, and I'm going to press down really hard. Make sure it goes all the way so you can feel your table underneath, so you know you've gone right the way through. And then tear away from the outside. Put this to one side and we can deal with that one later. And then it's in there, but no, don't worry, just gently push through. If you've got long nails, you need to be mindful because you'll stab the clay because it's still wet. I'll just go and do all the edges. And then push the centre close to your table or your work surface, and just gently let it pop out. Well, and some of the bits have stayed in there, which is very handy because that means I've only got one to put out. But then just push it down if you've got some left in there, which you probably will. Now, I don't have any tears that I can see around the edge, but if this happens, like sometimes because of the pattern, you can always cut with a wet. I'll show you. If you do get any tears, just get a small paintbrush, put it in some water, and then I'll use this little flower. Just go around with a wet paintbrush, pop it out, apply some more glue, and then attach. Nobody will know the difference. Only you will know the difference because of the pattern. And then with a wet brush, just go around all the edges and tuck in those extra bits of paper just to tidy it up. Do all the insides just to smooth it out, and then if you've got any wrinkles that you see that you don't like, you can just gently press them out. And then once you've done that, you put this aside for, depending on how you're going to dry it. I stick mine on top of my log burn on a bit of tin foil, so it dries pretty quick really, less than a day. Just let it dry for a couple of days, and then when it's dry you're ready to seal it and add your gold edging on. So in true Blue Peter fashion, here's one I prepared earlier, and this one I've already varnished, and the varnish I use for this is this one, which you get here in the UK. Out of a shop called The Range I got this one. It's very good. This is 3 or 4 light coats, and every time you put it on it gets glossier and glossier. This is what I've been using for this one. So for the gold, I'm not going to do all of it, I'm just going to show you a little bit. So I liked to, normally I use gold leaf. So on this little bowl that I've done here, this has got gold leaf around the edge. It's not finished yet, but I just wanted to show you the difference. So this is gold leaf, which is very, very nice, but also very messy. Gives a lovely finish. But for this snowflake here, you can also use this. Now, don't be disalarmed because I use this like a paint. I don't spray it on. I actually use it like a paint, and it is a lovely finish, and it's what I used to use before I got into the gold leafing. So give your pan a good old shake. And then I squirt mine into the lid. Now this dries out very, very quickly. You see the gold in there, and it is a bit smelly, and you really should probably be wearing a mask because it stinks. So give it a good mix up so you get your gold pigments in there, and then with a steady-ish hand, and that's not coming out very gold, so I might need to shake the can up a bit more. Let's see what we get this time. But there are other things you can use. Gold leaf, you can do this. There are pens on the market online. Yeah, I think it's a little bit too cold in here for this. But you get the general idea. So just paint it round. And I mean, if you wanted to, you could paint the whole back of it. But, so you just do that. And you don't have to use gold. You could use silver. You use any colour you like. You could use blue. Another thing I like to do with the backs of these sometimes is watercolour. Find a blue the same colour or a very similar shade to the blue on here, and then paint the backs as well. And then that is that. And here's a different version up here. Different napkin, gold leaf, and I've added some diamantes on that one. And then just a normal cookie cutter for that one. And then here's this one, and then I've put a stamp on that one, a crackle type stamp on that one to make it look a bit more vintagey. But that's got gold leaf on it, you can see the difference. And that is how you do that. So hopefully I've explained everything. If you've got any more questions, feel free to comment any questions and I'll answer them when I get to them. And I'd just like to say thank you again.